you have a collection of films and videotape sitting in your attic, basement, hall closet, or a box somewhere that are being lost to time? Creative artists can transfer your 8mm, Super 8mm, and 16mm films, as well as converting your VHS, CVHS, 8mm, and mini DV to DVD. Preserve your family's video history for the generations to come. Creative Artists, 1113 West Spring Street, Monroe, 770-267-7368.
Hello, it is Friday, September the 27th, and we're so excited to be here in Loganville today for the ribbon cutting and grand opening of Empire Fire Protection's new office building. It's absolutely beautiful. They've just moved from a home-based business to an office location, and we're so excited for y'all, and we appreciate your chamber membership, and we just are so excited about the growth that your company's had, and you'll hear more about that in just a second. But for now, I want to introduce Skip Beliles, who's on the City Council for Loganville, and he's going to give them a Loganville welcome.
Good afternoon, and for the mayor and for the City Council of Loganville, we really appreciate Empire Fire Protection moving to the Loganville area, and we welcome you with open arms, and anything we can help them with, we'll be more than happy to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And we have the co-owners, Dana and Kent, here, and I think Kent's going to tell you a little bit about what Empire Fire Protection is.
I'll do it. Empire Fire Protection, we started 4 years ago, and like she said, in a home-based business, and over the 4 years we've grown to 27 employees from only 4, and here just recently we've moved in June to this building, and what we do is fire sprinklers, fire alarms, fire extinguishers, kitchen hoods, exit lights and emergency lights. And Dana Player's my business partner, and she'll tell you a little bit more about our business.
Yes, we're a 24-hour service. We have a website, empirefireprotection.net. Our phone number is 770-464-2400, and we're located at 3443 Diversified Drive in Loganville.
And now we're going to have your employees introduce themselves and tell y'all what they do.
My name's Evie Leon, and I'm in the marketing department.
My name's Josh Britt, and I'm the operations manager.
Angie Franklin, I am the office manager.
Okay. Did you miss anybody?
The other girls are up front.
The other girls are hiding up front.
They're working.
The other girls are working.
That's right. Anything else you want to add? No. Okay. So give them a call, check out their website, and again, congratulations to y'all. And we're going to go out front now and cut the ribbon.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get the sign in y'all in here. Okay, ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Now for the highlight of the evening, the crowning of the 2013 Homecoming Queen. The 2013 Homecoming Queen will be announced by Headmaster Billy Nicholson and crowned by the 2012 Homecoming Queen, Brooke Moon. Assisting with the festivities are Associate Headmaster and High School Principal Stephen Whitley. Drum roll, please.
The 2013 Homecoming Queen for George Walton Academy, I need to know.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me now? All right. I'd like to thank all of the parents, volunteers, and members for joining us today as the Walton County 4-H program celebrates the career of Mr. Glenn Blair. As a friendly reminder, please please make sure that you take the time to write your thoughts down in the guest book located at the front table. I would like to take the opportunity now to thank Mr. Jake Mathis for providing such lovely music for us as we all enjoyed our refreshments. In addition to our guest speakers today, we are graced with the presence of Miss Verna Blair, who has so kindly offered to share Mr. Blair and her famous cake with us for the past 15 years. In addition, on behalf of the Walton County Council Board, I would like to share a few sentiments with Mr. Blair. I tried to get a holistic overview of these years that have breezed by for me. I racked my brain over and over, trying to name one event that Mr. Blair did not oversee for our Walton County team, whether for the arrival, the departure, or the transportation itself. I couldn't find a single time. While he hasn't always opted to join us, as I know we tried awful hard to convince him to join us on the Skyscreamer at Six Flags this past summer, couldn't quite get him for that. But still, he has always been there at every chance to encourage us and, of course, to take our picture. I wanted to share with you a fond memory that I have of Mr. Blair. In the 5th grade, I spent my first week away from home at Jekyll 4-H camp. That whole week had been rainy and icky, but Mr. Blair had offered to take us out on the beach for a morning walk, as I'm sure he had done many years before with other students. And just as he had promised, we marveled as the sun rose over a ship that was half buried in the sand. Later that day, we saw a ship again, the same ship again, covered by the tide. Now, as I reflect on this, I see that Mr. Blair has taken so many opportunities to show me things from a different perspective that I wouldn't have noticed if he hadn't otherwise taken the time, set it aside, and actually showed us and let us experience something in a new light. And I have so many different encounters like this with Mr. Blair over the past years as he's taught me and so many other Walton County youth. So I just wanted to share that with you all. For our first guest for this afternoon, Mr. Kevin Little, the Walton County Board of Commissioners, will come and speak to us. Now, Mr. Chairman would come.
It's an honor to come and speak today. As I told Mr. Blair earlier, I don't know whether I'll ever get to retire or not, but it's always nice to be able to do that. Mr. Glenn, you've been with the county for 15 years. You've managed a highly visible, very active 4-H program here. And on many occasions through the years, you brought numerous teams, winning teams, and before the Board of Commissioners of Walton County, and it's always exciting. I like to see Walton County proud, Walton County winning in state programs, and so with that, I know we've been recognized statewide as a force to be reckoned with when Walton County 4-H is coming there. But behind all of these winners, there are many more young people who Glenn has touched their lives in positive ways in our community. I know he makes great use of this Ag Center as multiple 4-H events every week, including the GOAT program, which he started soon after he came to Walton County. I'm in and out down here playing baseball behind him, and I see him down here with the goats and people in from all over the county, so it's a big asset to have his leadership and been able to put Walton County on that leadership role as well. He also skillfully supervised 2 program assistants and over 30 volunteers to help make the program what it is. I also want to thank any volunteers that are here today, because without you, we would have to be hiring more staff, which in this day and time is almost impossible. We have never fielded a complaint from the citizens in regards to the 4-H program, and this is something to say for you, Mr. Blair. Thank you, Glenn, for what you have done for the young people of Walton County, and on behalf of Walton County Board of Commissioners, we wish you the best of luck in your retirement. And what we have is a pewter plate, Walton County. It's a picture of the Walton County Courthouse, and we'll be presenting that to you today on behalf of Walton County Board of Commissioners. Didn't want that in the picture. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Chairman Little, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share with us. And additionally, thank you for all that you do for Walton County. Now I would like to introduce everyone to a man who shares Mr. Blair's devotion to the Georgia 4-H program. Mr. Al Parker, Northeast District Program Development Coordinator, will please join us.
Well, thank you very much, and glad to be here with you today. And Glenn and I have worked together. I was actually telling Bobby Smith as I came in today, my very first bus, driving the school bus, was coming to a lock-in that we did right here. And it had to have been the most drizzling, foggy night you've ever seen. So we made it and had a great time. And Glenn and I worked together as agents. I was down in Putnam County, and now in the role I have as PDC here in Northeast District. So got a couple stories to tell on Glenn right now. One he may or may not remember, but we made the 5 o'clock news on Channel 5 one night, believe it or not. We were at State Congress in Atlanta. You remember that one, Glenn? I remember. And we were at State Congress, and however they worked it out, I don't know if they worked it out that way again. We had 5 or 6 young ladies with us. We had all the young ladies who were in the resource management project. It may have been time and money management project. We had taken them on their tour, which just happened to be the Nations Bank in Atlanta. Well, we went to the 37th floor, or whatever it is, all the way to the top. We got to look around outside, and we even spoke then. We said, gee, it'd be terrible if this elevator shut down on us. Well, no, we did fine. We went all the way to the top, went all the way to the bottom. But then they said, we want to take you to another place. We want to take you to a distribution center, is what they called it. And if you don't know that, when you make your credit card payments, it goes to a distribution center. That doesn't make sense to me, but I said, I need to look at it since so much of my money goes there. So we got there. It was a little 3 or 4 story building, and they took us to the top, and people were just opening envelopes and all that kind of stuff. Well, we got on that little elevator. 3 hours later, after the jaws of life from the Atlanta Fulton County Fire Department, we were allowed to get out of that elevator. But it was a hot, terrible, those young ladies, they did well as well, but they got us some bottled water in there once they were able to open it a little bit. But Mr. Glenn, he stayed calm. Well, I wouldn't say cool, but he stayed calm that day as far as that's concerned. So, but I'll always remember that moment. I've got another one. I was trying to see if we had some other 4-H agents. Miss Judy's probably heard me say that before. But we have a rule. It's not really a written rule, but when we go to, say, a junior camp or a marine resource camp, when it's just a few kids from a county, we make a rule. We say, if you've got 10 or more kids, we need somebody from that county to come along with them. And counties accommodate, and they understand why. But I attribute that to Glenn and Walton County. And Glenn will have to credit me. It was either a junior camp or a marine resource camp that we were down on Jekyll Island. And he's looking like he doesn't remember this, but he brought a group of young ladies from Walton County. I think it's been few enough years, far enough back, there's no young ladies in here, but it was marine resource or whatever. It was a group of 7th and 8th grade young ladies, and they had 2 rooms on the top level, and they were just having knockdown, drag-out fights. They were just having a terrible time. They couldn't get along. Nothing would work out. Everybody was saying, well, who's going to go up there? I said, even the lady said, I don't want to go up there. But Mr. Glenn walked up, and he said, well, those are my Walton County girls. Let me go up there. And I don't know what he did or he said. About 5 minutes later, he came out. A couple of girls changed rooms. And we didn't have another problem for the rest of the week. So I'm taking that from Mr. Glenn as far as you got at least 10 kids come along, especially 10 girls. No offense, ladies. But when you got people that don't get along, Mr. Glenn's the man to call on to take care of that. And anytime else, I know anybody that's here as far as in the future, in any county in our district or even the state would be glad to have you as a volunteer leader when they have 10 kids to go to camp. So wish you the best, Mr. Glenn, and we actually gave Glenn a plate, a Rock Eagle plate, back at our 4-H update a month or so ago. So wish you the best in retirement, and don't be a stranger. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Al. We certainly appreciate your commendation. Next, I would like to ask a 4-H representative, Mr. Colt Bauer, last year's president of the Walton County Goat Club, to offer a few words.
Well, my sisters and I, and actually my whole family, have got to know Mr. Blair through our involvement in the Walton County Goat Club since 2007. From trimming hooves to running baby goats over the phone, Mr. Blair has always been available to help myself and many others achieve success in raising and showing our goats. No one has ever been excluded from being given a chance to participate in our club, even if they didn't own a goat, because Mr. Blair always made sure they had one to care for, even if it was one of his own. The first time my mom called him on the phone to ask a question about the club, and many hours once they finally got off the phone, it felt like we were part of his new family. And there were many times that we had questions and we knew Mr. Blair had all the answers. We could call him and always felt more knowledgeable after having talked to him. We will truly miss having him around, and I know that in the beginning I was determined to be the next Walton County Extension agent. Because where else could you get a job hanging out with kids at summer camp, roasting marshmallows and dressing up like characters off of Star Wars? We will miss his wisdom, his humor, and his diligent and faithful concern for the kids not only in our club, but in the arena of his entire job. Thank you, Mr. Blair, for what you've invested in the lives of many young people like myself, my sisters, and our entire Goat Club. We will always be grateful and will hopefully pass on your dedication to the young people after us. Thank you.
Thank you, Cole, for offering your student perspective. I know that there's plenty of students in here that could agree with Colt in his story. At this time, I would like to ask Mrs. Gwen Queen, Walton County Program Assistant, would you please come to the podium?
Well, I've been blessed with having the two best bosses I've ever had since I've been with Extension. I'm already in the first sentence and I'm already tearing up here. But Mr. Blair and Judy, were answered prayers for me. And now I'm losing both of them right at the same time. I could go on and on about both of them, but since it's Mr. Blair today, I really concentrate on him right now. Mr. Blair's made a huge impact on my family. My husband's father passed away when my husband was a teenager. I'm sorry. So my boys have never known a grandfather other than my dad. While they both love and admire my dad with all they've got, Mr. Blair sort of filled that place up with another grandfather with them. They respect him a great deal and frequently talk about how Mr. Blair can do anything, how he knows everything, and how much they enjoy his jokes and just how cool he is. They're also admiringly jealous of Mr. Blair's biceps. And talk about how he must have gotten his guns from lifting all of those goats. I've even seen a class full of football players get jealous of him when he quickly one-armed the goat up into the back of his truck. He's taught my boys so many different things, and he's made a huge impression on their lives. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Blair made a huge impression on my life as well. I knew I could identify with him from day one because I immediately noticed that we were both alcoholics. We both liked the real thing, no diet stuff for any one of us. So there was an immediate connection there. We also both loved to take pictures, and I'm sure most of you noticed this about him. From the beginning, I learned so much about dealing with people from him. I witnessed him give selflessly to the kids in the 4-H program here in Walton County and around the state. If a 4-H'er ever came to him with an idea, he never once said, "No, we can't do that." He encouraged them to find a way to make whatever it was work. And these kids have come in with some pretty big ideas. He was the same way with me. If I said, "I think we should make homemade kites with 200 middle schoolers," he said, "Okay." Awesome project, by the way, but the work involved made us both think twice before we mentioned doing that again. He has always been an encouraging, positive thinker. I've never seen him get down or frustrated, and he always seems to know what those around him need before they do. An example of this occurred at my first photo-lead camp at Rock Eagle. About Wednesday of that week. Wednesday is the day that everybody's really, really tired and really, really worn out. They haven't got slap happy of the Thursday yet. So they were really tired. And I was walking down the road in Muskogee Lane near the lake. My cabin was at the other end of that road in a hole up by Pool 2. I've been assigned to area photographer, so I've been walking around all that hot day looking for Muskogee campers and various photographic opportunities. I hadn't had any water or anything to drink for a while, and it seemed that with every step, that road got longer and longer and longer. My neck was hurting from carrying the camera around my neck all day, and my head was pounding from a lack of caffeine. All of a sudden, I heard a car coming up behind me. I looked up and saw Mr. Blair in his truck. He just opened up the door, leaned out, handed me a Coke. He said, "I got a feeling you might be needing one of these." One of the best Coca-Colas I ever had. I think everyone in this room has a similar feeling about Mr. Blair. And everybody wants to claim him as their own. He's made a similar impact on just about every person that he's come in contact with. And I'm sure that each and every one of you could get up here and talk for hours and hours about him. And I could too, but I'm not going to. I'll tell you that none of you will ever know the heart, soul, and time that Mr. Blair has put into this 4-H program and that each 4-H'er has been a part of it. He has been a tremendous blessing to me, to my family, to all involved in Walton County 4-H, and to Extension as a whole. Thank you for putting up with me.
Ms. Queen, it's a pleasure to hear you offer such pleasant sentiments towards Mr. Blair. Just as she said, I know we could go on and on for hours with stories about Mr. Blair, and as Colt mentioned earlier, I think we're really just, us students are trying to keep living and giving back to the people in our community to really show that, aspire to have a little more Mr. Blair in every day. As I introduce our last guest speaker, Miss Judy Ashley, Walton County Extension Coordinator, please give her a big round of applause for her new job position as a Northeast District Extension Director.
Thank you, Victoria. And she didn't take the time to introduce herself, but I wanted to introduce Victoria Williams, one of our senior 4-H'ers and president of County Council. And she's done a great job tonight. Thank you, Victoria. I took the time to put my thoughts on paper because I was afraid it would happen with nothing but Gwen, and it still might, but please forgive me for reading a few of my thoughts. One of the best decisions I've ever made, besides marrying Joe Ashley, was hiring Glenn Blair. He is a man of many talents, titles, and virtues. His first title that he was hired under was 4-H Program Assistant, but his talents were quickly noticed by our District Director, Beverly Sparks, who quickly promoted him to Educational Program Specialist. Several years later, he moved up to 4-H agent, and then eventually 4-H coordinator. These were Glenn's official titles, but around our office, he goes by many others. And like any good 4-H demonstration, I have visual aids to prove it. Probably the most popular title that Glenn holds is the Goat Man. So Glenn, if you'll come up and accept this little gift from us, we've got more of you. This is Glenn's 4-H goat. He's known statewide for his knowledge and his expertise in this now popular 4-H livestock project. When Glenn came to me over 12 years ago and said he'd like to host a goat show, I humored him, thinking, I'll let him try this and then it won't work and we'll go on to something else. Well, this wasn't the first time I've had to eat my words. Because before we knew it, we were hosting hundreds of young people and their project animals from multiple states right here in Monroe, for what has become one of the largest livestock projects now at the state level. He and the Goat Club have raised thousands of dollars and thousands of dollars in donated equipment to build pens, arenas, signs, and whatever the 4-H'ers needed to help them with their projects that have taught them so much. Glenn is also the father of repurposing. This statue is an example of what he can do in repurposing. This is something Glenn welded. There is a random bolt as a cowboy's hat, a washer, old horseshoes, and I think some copper wire that no telling where you pulled that from. But Glenn is the true father of repurposing. He is the most resourceful person on the face of the earth that we've all decided in office. He can find a scrap of anything and see a use for it. And if he doesn't have a use for it right then, Verna says, he says, you never know when you might. He's the king of yard sales. If he ever has a free Saturday, which is not very often with his 4-H calendar, he can be found at a local yard sale finding easels, PA speakers, bolts of royal blue satin fabric, hot dog grills, scraps of metal and iron, horseshoes for his welding projects, cases of Matchbox cars, hundreds of Matchbox cars, office supplies, you name it, he's brought it into the office after many a successful yard sale excursion. There's a TV show on now called American Pickers, and when I watch it, I think of Glenn. He picked before picking was cool. The amazing thing is, he's made of every random item that he's brought into the office. The Matchbox cars are given as prizes to 4-H'ers when they get their newsletter signed. The hot dog grill has been used many times by Glenn as he grilled out hot dogs for the 4-H'ers on many outings. And oh yes, even the blue satin fabric, as you will see, he enlisted Verna's help to turn these into poster holders, to carry the hundreds of posters, project achievement posters from the classrooms back to the office. The hundreds of random items that Glenn has brought into our office and repurposed will always help us remember his commitment to our program. He can do anything. We've often said that in the case if there's a major disaster, we want to find Glenn. When the world goes black, Glenn will be warm and comfy in his house that's being run by multiple generators. He'll be dining on a meal from some of the dehydrated foods that Verna has been making over the years, eating the eggs from his chickens and the vegetables from his garden. But if it weren't for Glenn's work ethic, the accomplishments in Walton County 4-H would not have been possible. He feels personally responsible for every 4-H activity or event that we're involved in. He's trained and screened many of you as volunteers for our young people, yet he doesn't just leave you out there to dry. He's always there to lend support, whether it's at a Friday night archery practice, helping to set up for poultry judging, paying a visit to shotgun practice on Sunday afternoons, or taking pictures at the horse show. You can find Glenn. When he was working full-time, he was working double-time. Now that he's part-time, I think he's actually cut back to 40 hours. We want to thank Verna for giving us Glenn on loan for the past 15 years. On behalf of all of us, Glenn, thank you for everything that you've done for each and every one of us in the room. And many of your friends here today, along with the staff, have contributed to a gift for you. And if you would come forward at this time, it is going to require a little work on your part in order to make use of it, but I don't think you're afraid of hard work, so Glenn. And if it's safe, we're going to let Glenn have a rebuttal at this time. So Mr. Blair, if you'd like to say a few words. And while he's coming up, I want to thank everyone, the 4-H'ers and the staff that helped put the party together this afternoon. All of you that contributed and made the Ag Center look how it does tonight, we really appreciate the help. And after it's over, it's not over.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. This is really quite an honor. All the kind words that these people ahead of me have said, they're much more eloquent in their speeches. But Judy did say that I could say a few words. So I've taken the time to write down a few things that I'd like to talk about. A little shorter. I want to start out with something that kind of sets the tone for what I've been doing over the last 15 years. This summer I was at Fortson, and some of you may have seen it on the slideshow that I had, or they put together. One of the things that happened at Fortson this year is I set the record for the oldest person that climbed the wall at Fortson. And I made it to the top, and I rang the bell. And that's a great feeling when you get to the top and you ring that bell. I was going to be the oldest one that went down the zip line too, but I found out that a 92-year-old woman had went down the zip line ahead of me, so she better watch out. I'm just waiting. I'd like to thank someone that really gave me the opportunity to do what I've done the last 15 years. Judy Ashley, I went into her office and applied for a 19-hour program assistant. And as Judy put in the newspaper a little bit later, this old man with gray hair came in and applied for this job. And I think she did it just to see if I could really do all the things that I said I could do. But I really didn't realize that I was old until she put that in the newspaper. And so then I made up my mind that I was going to have to ring that bell often because she had trusted me to do what I said I was going to do. And so I do appreciate Judy allowing me the opportunity to work with these young people. And I didn't know that 4-H couldn't do these things that I started doing. They like the Goat Club. Judy didn't tell all that story when I went in to talk to her about the first show. She asked how much it was going to cost, and I said, well, I think we can do it for about $3,500. And all of you in Extension know what that response came up with. She said, are you sure that you can do this? Actually, we did the show. We paid out the $3,500, and we made $2,500 on that first show. But since that time, we've done photography. We bought 12 cameras. We taught photography classes for about 3 years until the cameras wore out. And we've done gardening. I mentioned the showing the goats. We built birdhouses. We even built a welder. I mean, we bought a welder. And you saw one of the things that, and this summer we had 4 welding classes that we had some of our team leaders help with. But we, every class was full, and these young people could make a horseshoe or a cap out of, I mean, they could make a cowboy or a cap out of horseshoes. And they carried that home, and they were really proud of being able to make that. And we had about a 3-hour class, and they were able to take this home. We've tried disc golf. We built some disc golf baskets, took them around to the middle school, getting these kids out and doing some exercise. And I think that's been one of the biggest things, whether they're doing disc golf, playing kickball, or jump rope, that we do in our middle school. Just a few of the things that we do. The one thing that Judy didn't realize that I can read minds. And when I started coming to her office, you know, she always said, okay, what do you want to do this time, Glenn? And, you know, but really what she was thinking is, what crazy ideas he got this time? You know, but I could read her mind, and I knew. You know, one of the things that we did the last couple of years is we give sweet potato slips at the farmer's market. This last year, we gave over 750 sweet potato slips out at the farmer's market for these people to take home and plant. Well, I kept back about 200, and I told her, I said, we've been working on this farm to school thing, so let's plant those sweet potatoes out here at the Ag Center. So up here on the hill, I got Mr. Williams across the street to come over and plow that up, and we planted the sweet potatoes. We planted 200 of them. And so a couple of days later, I came back, and I thought, man, we've had a rain since we planted them. They should be looking really good. And walked up, and all these tracks going across, and the deers got in and eat about half of them off. So I went home and I got some old wire, chicken wire and stuff, and brought back out here and put over them. I thought, this is going to take care of the deer because they can't get to them until they can get a little bit established. Well, come back a little later, and they were eat off right down to the ground. Well, I figured out pretty quick that the rabbits were crawling in under the wire and eating the sweet potatoes. So I don't know whether we're going to get any sweet potatoes or not, but I think we can still salvage something out of this. We can have some chili made out of deer, or we can have rabbit stew. I want to thank my wife and my family because they have allowed me to be absent a lot of weekends and nights. Without her understanding, I wouldn't have been able to do this. And to the fact that she even fed the goats. And you know, she said, I had to go feed those stupid goats. And goats are not stupid. They're just very friendly when you have feed in your hand. You know, I want to brag a little bit about Walton County. Walton County is known all over the state for its 4-H program. And some of the people that have made this possible are 4-H program assistants. And we have some of the ones that have come through the program and moved on to other things. We have Jackie, Tina, Kathy, and Michelle that since I've been here And I'm very fortunate right now. I have two really good program assistants, Gwen and Sarah, that I feel very comfortable about letting them handle the 4-H program because I know it's going to continue, and they're going to offer opportunities for these young people as I work into my retirement. I told someone that I retired the 1st of September, and just to give you an example, yesterday I left home about 8 o'clock, and I got back about 15 till 9, so that's an improvement. I can't say enough about our volunteers. Without volunteers, we wouldn't be able to have near the program that we have in Walton County. And that's one of the reasons that everybody around the state knows Walton County because of some of our volunteers. We have volunteers with our Evergreen Homeschool, with the Young Rider Horse Club, the drill team, the Goat Club, wildlife, poultry, consumer, and horse judging teams, the Horse Quiz Bowl, our state program, where we have BB, archery, shotgun, 22, rifle, air rifle, and our middle school program. And we have opportunities, if anyone has a week off in the summer, for you to go to camp with us. So keep that in mind, and I can let you know what the dates are if you are interested. And yes, if they'll allow me to go to camp, I'll go to camp next summer. Camp is one of my favorite things. It allows me to ring the bell. And last of all, I want to thank all of our 4-H'ers, because these are the people that have really made a difference in the Walton County program. Those young people want to ring the bell, and they want to strive. And the minute that they get to the top and they ring that bell, they see another opportunity and another bell, and they've gone on to do that. And we have a lot of our young people here in this room that have mastered. In the 15 years, we've had 47 4-H'ers that have mastered. And to me, that's an outstanding group of young people. In the 15 years, we have contacted over 21,000 young people in our 4-H program here in the county. And we hope that we've given them some opportunities to do more. And another group of people that I want to thank is the office staff here in Walton County. And besides the people that have come up and talked a little bit today, Samantha, Molly, Becky, and William, thank you for all that you've done. And we wouldn't be able to do our program if all of you didn't step up and help us when we need some help. And I want to end with a story about a little boy that I was talking to at Rock Eagle at camp. And Bobby and I were walking along up Anchors and down the sidewalk. And I could tell Bobby was a little bit nervous, and he finally said, Mr. Blair, I've got a problem. And I said, well, what's your problem? He said, well, I found $10 on the sidewalk back here, And I'm trying to decide what I should do with it. And so I listened to him for a minute, and then I said, well, Bobby, what do you think is the right thing to do with that $10? So we walked on a little ways, and finally Bobby looked up at me and he said, Mr. Blair, you ask hard questions. I hope in the last 15 years I've asked a lot of hard questions, and I think it has made a difference in some of these young people's lives. Thank you.
Mr. Blair, you have instilled the values of seeking a better version of ourselves with each new encounter. As new days dawn, we 4-Hers aspire to evolve, maintaining optimal health so that we may better serve our communities. Your investment in the lives of so many local and state youth displays a man of great integrity, worthy of much respect, and a valued example for all who are blessed with your encountership. We thank you for your humble service to Walton County. At this time, I'd like to thank you all again for coming out and celebrating the career of Mr. Glenn Blair. Please take the time and get refreshments as you leave, and have a nice night, everyone.
Hello, I'm Amy Honeywell, and this is Lauren Welty.
Hi.
And we are with the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth, and we're here to tell you about a really exciting event that we're going to have. The Haunted House of Addictions is going to take place very soon at the end of October, and we just wanted to tell you a little bit about it.
We're really excited about this year, and our dates are October 18th and 19th, a Friday and Saturday, and then the next week, the 25th, 26th, and 27th. It's going to be from 7 to 10 each night, except on the Sunday, the 27th, when we close at 9. It's at the old City Hall downtown next to the Wells Fargo.
And we're really excited. Chick-fil-A is going to be selling some of their food afterwards, and we're going to have a lot of different volunteers from all over the county. The Haunted House of Addictions is a haunted house that teaches students about the dangers of drugs and alcohol, the very real and very scary consequences that goes along with drugs and alcohol. And we're excited to have teenagers actually running the haunted house. Wolfie, what do you think about the haunted house? Wolfie is really excited, and we're really excited for a very fun educational event taking place in downtown Monroe.
Hi, I'm Elaine Oakes, Director of Keep Walton Beautiful and the Walton County Recycling Center, joining you with this week's edition of the Walton Waste Watcher Report. Today, I just want to remind everyone that we are gearing up for our Rivers Alive event. It's an annual event that we do every October, and we utilize mostly Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and Girl Scouts, and some of the school science clubs that help us out with cleaning litter along our ditches and roadways that lead into our water in our Walton County area. They may be tributaries or along the Alcovy or Appalachia rivers. We are looking for areas that need some extra attention. Every year before the event, we try to drive around and look at the selected locations and determine whether or not they need a cleanup or not. So we're in the process of doing that right now. And I know that this will air next week. And if anybody sees this and has any ideas that they'd like to share with us, we can't guarantee that we can clean every area, but we are actively trying to determine which areas that we want to really target this year. So please give us a call at 770-267-1421 and ask to speak to Elaine if you have an idea or you want to share some information about where an area might be. We do have pretty much our volunteers already registered for this year's event. If you are interested at all, you can touch base with us. If you want to help as an adult leader to kind of walk around and help watch out for the scouts as they are going along the roadsides, that's just something that if you have an interest, you can let me know. Thank you so much for watching today, and have a great week.
Hello Walton County, this is Kevin Little with the Chairman's Report on Channel 16 Walton Entertainment. Going to continue to update you a little. I still have the Walton County map behind me here. I want to update you on some of the things that's going on in the county. I talked to you a little bit last week about the reservoir and talked to you about some industrial projects. We've been working in a partnership with Walnut Grove about a sewer project which would allow sewer to come into the area over there, but the permitting process takes several years, and we finally got that permit. Walnut Grove is pretty much all rock, and so this will give us an opportunity. We'll have a spray field to spray the waste out, the cleaned waste from this, but it will also give Walnut Grove and Walton County an economic opportunity over on this side of the county because of the proximity to I-20. I-138 in Rockdale County is very close there, and so that will be exciting to have going forward. There's a lot between. I was going to remind you that we do have the driver's license facility there, and I have had several complaints that there's a backlog there on you have to wait a long period of time to get your license and such as that. That is a state-run agency. We did provide the facility with our sales tax dollars, but the employees and the management is run by the state, so I hope everything gets smoothed out there and continues to work really well with what we have. The county as a whole, we're in very good shape this past year. Our budget, although the trend is still downward, we were able to work within our means and cut about another $1 million or plus in our budget, and then we gave back $700,000 to you, the taxpayers. So that's always good. In fiscal year previous, we gave back $1.2 million, so we're excited. We left the millage rate the same in ours, so there'll be no tax increase on the county side. Now, I did understand that the Board of Education did go up on the millage rate, and I don't know any idea of what that increase will be. But on the county side, we're still operating in the same millage rate that we had, which is about $2 million less money than what we operated on last year. We have good department heads, good constitutional officers that use your money very wisely, and we do appreciate them for what they do, and we appreciate you, the citizens, for allowing us to be able that service to you here in Walton County. If you have any questions or concerns, please give me a call, 770-267-1316. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in today. We're going to show you some of the dogs and cats that are here at Walton County Animal Control. Before we do that, we just wanted to give you a little update on some upcoming rabies clinics, low-cost vaccine clinics. You know, this day and age, it's great to get something a little bit lower cost. And you know what? You can't skimp on your pet's care, especially rabies vaccine. If your dog ever accidentally bites a person and it isn't current on rabies vaccine, it has to be quarantined at a facility and can cost a great bit of money. Maybe your pet comes into contact with a raccoon or other animal. If it's not current, that could mean your animal has to be put down. So don't skimp on rabies vaccines, especially since we've got some low-cost options coming up. On September 28th, that's a Saturday, Paradox Spay Neuter Clinic is going to have a clinic at Boss Brothers Country Store. That's on Highway 78, just east of Loganville. They're doing rabies shots for just $10. The other vaccines that you can get, they're from $15 to $25. So very affordable at that clinic. That's Boss Brothers Country Store on Highway 78. on September 28th and again October 26th. There's also another vaccination clinic coming up. This is going to be Saturday, September 21st from 9 to noon at the Paw Patch. This is on Rosebud Road in Loganville. And they're doing a full package that includes basically every vaccine that your dog would need, and that's just $75. For your cat, the entire package is only $40. So a lot of options for low-cost vaccines. Also for spay and neuter, you can find that on our website, waltonpets.net. But don't skimp on your animal's health care. It's the responsible thing to do as a responsible pet owner. And so now we'll show you some of the animals that are available for adoption here.
We got a little male kitten, he's about 3 months old. He's not wanting to be out here, he's wanting to be down playing. He is very playful, very sweet, and needs a good home.
This is Max. He's a 1-year-old husky mix. He's a really sweet boy and he could really use a good home.
Hey everybody, this is Comet, about 2-year-old male. Looks like a Weimaraner. See? He's such a good boy.
This is Jumper. She's an 8-month-old Beagle mix. She's a really sweet girl and she could really use a good home.
These two girls are sisters. She's a lab Beagle mix. Her name's Shelby. She's spayed. She's about 1.5 years old. This is a Beagle mix. Her name's Lady. She's about 2.5 years old. They were brought in together. They're both spayed and both current on their rabies vaccinations.
We have a 2-year-old mixed breed, probably like a lab pit mix. He's already neutered, very hyper, likes to play. He needs some good training and he'll be a good dog.
Green, green, green. It's your home, it's your dream. Great on testing, keep it healthy and clean. Make it green, green, green.
Making it green starts from the ground up, so make sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Test your home for the presence of radon. Go to epa.gov/radon.
Make it green, green, green.
What we do to the planet, we do to ourselves. You can help keep America beautiful. Visit kab.org.
Hello, I'm Amy Honeywell, and this is Lauren Welty.
Hi.
And we are with the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth, and we're here to tell you about a really exciting event that we're going to have. The Haunted House of Addictions is going to take place very soon at the end of October, and we just wanted to tell you a little bit about it.
We're really excited about this year, and our dates are October 18th and 19th, a Friday and Saturday, and then the next week, the 25th, 26th, and 27th. It's going to be from 7 to 10 each night, except on the Sunday, the 27th, when we close at 9. It's at the old City Hall downtown next to the Wells Fargo.
And we're really excited. Chick-fil-A is going to be selling some of their food afterwards, and we're going to have a lot of different volunteers from all over the county. The Haunted House of Addictions is a haunted house that teaches students about the dangers of drugs and alcohol, the very real and very scary consequences that goes along with drugs and alcohol. And we're excited to have teenagers actually running the haunted house. Wolfie, what do you think about the haunted house? Wolfie is really excited, and we're really excited for a very fun educational event taking place in downtown Monroe.